is Gabby. If you're old here, what music are we listening to these days? I need some new recommendations. This week we're going back to the 2010s, and I'm essentially reading the books that I was obsessed with when I was in middle school. Uncarly on YouTube did a really great video about the effect of John Green and like Tumblr internet culture in 2014, and just the cultural impact of being a young adult reader was insane. We had The Fault in Our Stars movie, we had the Hunger Games movies, I believe we had the tail end of the Twilight series as well, we had the Divergent series and movies. There was just a lot going on for young adult readers. In this video, we are going to read The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, which Carly's video reminded me not only had an incredible impact on me as a young reader, but number two, is nuts. And I also have ordered Twilight, and that one will be coming in 2 days. I got this at the thrift store, and I thought I was going to be able to find Twilight, but I didn't. I did, however, find a clip, so maybe we'll do a whole Twilight series reading vlog. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. But I just thought it would be a fun, exciting little time, and I'm kind of in a reading slump, so this is gonna bring me back. Instead of watching my comfort movies, I figured I'd read my books from my childhood, you know. I'm very excited. We are going to start The Fault in Our Stars tonight. Not gonna lie to y'all, I'm more excited to read Twilight, but I just know that this book is nuts. Like, I remember a couple key plot points from this book, and I know that it's gonna be such a good read, but I'm so excited to read Twilight that it's kind of overshadowing this, so we're gonna get straight into this so that hopefully by the time Twilight comes, I'm done. But yeah, just so that we're all aware, this is gonna be full spoiler because, again, these books came out over 10 years ago. Get with the program. And very quickly, when I was ordering Twilight on Amazon, it said #BookTalk. First of all, what do you all on TikTok know about Twilight? The answer is nothing. I, on the other hand, who does a yearly Twilight rewatch, knows a lot. So if there's a Twilight renaissance, I'm at the front of the line. Thank you very much. Anyway, enough with the yapping. Let's get into it. First of all, I forgot that this was from, like, first-person POV. And second of all, the very first sentence. Late in the winter of my 17th year, my mother decided I was depressed. I didn't finish reading the sentence. My mother decided I was depressed, presumably because I rarely left the house, spent quite a lot of time in bed, read the same book over and over, ate infrequently, and devoted quite a bit of my abundant free time to thinking about death. Sorry, you listed all of my extracurricular activities. I'm so happy I decided to do this. He pulled out the cigarette. I forgot about this. They literally just came out of a cancer support group meeting and he pulls out a cigarette and she's like, "Oh, you ruined it," because she like totally thinks he's hot or whatever. "They don't kill you unless you light them," he said as Mom arrived at the curb. "And I've never lit one. It's a metaphor, see? You put the killing thing right between your teeth, but you don't give it the power to do its killing." It's me from the future. I realized that I never gave a synopsis of the book. So if you've never read The Fault in Our Stars, or like it's been a long time, essentially it follows our main character, Hazel Grace. She is diagnosed with cancer. She already has cancer at the time that we start the book. And although romance is the boat that floats us along the plot, this book very much delves into the number one, the concept of just being alive and living a life that's worth living. Number two, grief and the grief of self when you're diagnosed with a terminal illness. coming to terms with your own mortality and falling in love as a young person. So, The Fault in Our Stars. One thing that I don't know if it's like just Joan Green's writing or if it's just a product of its time is that, like, I don't know, these kids feel like kids. Like, for example, number one, they're so dramatic. Hazel's talking about Augustus, and she said, I like that he was a tenured professor of the Department of Slightly Crooked Smiles with a dual appointment in the Department of Having a Voice that made my skin feel more like skin. Like, YA authors would never write that now. Like, I feel like teenagers now feel like they're so mature. I mean, what do I know? I'm not a teenager. They just don't write like this anymore because now all these kids think that they're so adult. But, I don't know, it's kind of sweet to see that everybody's just, this is how I felt, and we all read this in 2012 and nobody was like, ugh, that's such a lame thing to say. It was just like, ugh, I totally get what you mean. Hello. You can tell that time has passed because now I'm wearing a sweater. It is currently 10:20 and I think I'm just gonna read until I fall asleep and I'll report back. If anything nuts comes up, because it probably will. Remember when I said that I was gonna have this finished by the time Twilight came in on Tuesday? I said that on Sunday. Remember when I said that? I have not read a single sentence, not a letter more of that book. I'm on page 69, but she's arrived and I'm so excited. Also, in honor of this being like a throwback to my middle school days, I don't think you can tell that much. I have a mirror here. But I did one of the little hair bumps and I put my hair in a side pony to throw it back to what was popular back then. I think it suits me still, honestly. Kind of crushing it. ASMR. The worst ASMR you've ever heard. If you want to hear ASMR, I did make a video of me trying ASMR. I'm so excited. Let's read the blurb. About 3 things I was absolutely positive. First, Edward was a vampire. Second, there was a part of him, and I didn't know how potent that part might be, that thirsted for my blood. And third, I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with him. Isn't that the first thing she says in the movie? This is so dramatic. She's so dramatic. Now that it's actually here, I think I'm going to be more motivated to read The Fault in Our Stars because I want to read this so bad and remember how absolutely wonderfully awful it is. And that's going to encourage me to get through The Fault in Our Stars first because I said I was reading The Fault in Our Stars first. This is 403 pages, including an epilogue. Holy cannoli. Imagine your first book ever, your premiere novel, being 400 pages. That's absolutely nuts. Okay, I can't. I was about to read the first sentence, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. What we are going to do, so we're going to take my 2010 self, and we are going to read as much of this as I can before I fall asleep. I stopped at page 68 the other night that I was filming this because I was falling asleep. So we're gonna try and crush this, and I'll be back if they say anything nuts. Can I sign off like I did in all of my Instagram? Well, first of all, I wasn't even allowed to have Instagram because it was brand new, but I'm so scared to watch that back. See you later. I've reached it. Okay, he said after forever. Maybe okay will be our always. Okay, I said. You guys know how much that terrorized the culture. Everything was 2 little speech bubbles. Okay, okay. in Carly's video, there's a meme of minions. Okay, okay, okay. Like, they don't say always because they had cancer / have cancer. And so they can't say always because always isn't promised, and they're pretentious 16-year-olds, so they're wondering if their life even matters and whether or not the span of their life really counts as always, or just a portion of time in which they were alive. But we don't... No. No. This could have been better. Also, I was like screaming my brains out 2 minutes ago because on the previous page, she's writing a letter to the author of her favorite book. And she says, "Of course, if you ever do decide to write anything else, even if you don't want to publish it, I'd love to read it. Frankly, I'd read your grocery lists." And all my Emily Henry stans, that wasn't English, all my Emily Henry stans grocery list, thank you. Maybe that's where it came from, maybe it doesn't. I'm not that caught up on my Emily Henry lore. Emily Henry, I see you. Okay, they're traveling to Amsterdam, right? And she describes her outfit. She says, jeans, a pink tank top, and a black cardigan in case the plane was cold. Now, if you were to imagine, if I told you wearing jeans, a tank top, and you brought a cardigan, in 2024, your outfit would look like this. Now, this is what it would look like in 2012. In fact, it was actually probably worse than this. The skinny jeans were just as tight, and in my head, they are a dark wash blue. They have no holes. You're wearing flats, aka belly flats, that are black. You're wearing a neon pink tank top that looked like... It was less of a tank top and more of a camisole. I probably had a built-in bra. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? And then your cardigan probably looked like you were attending some sort of business casual event. Oh my gosh, or you were wearing a super, super long cardigan. Like the cardigan basically went down to... Oh my gosh, she has it here. The cardigan basically went down to your knees. Everyone was wearing heels. Everyone dressed business casual 99% of the time. Blazers were a trend back then before they were the whole wearing an athleisure bodysuit. Oh my gosh, like this. This is how you would look. She's wearing leggings, but Hazel Grace is wearing jeans. But anyway, in case you wanted to know what the state of outfits were back then, this was cute. Statement necklace, neon shirt, cute little shorts, and you were probably wearing... I think this girl's wearing sandals, I can't tell. But you were probably wearing wedges, because why not? And you had a fob. I'm sorry, a fab. An F. I can't even describe. Just look it up. And you probably had bangs that were like this. Swoop. And that was just the state of the world. So, just to paint a picture, we had to be ugly before we were cool. Remember that, kids. Never forget where you came from. I don't have any thoughts because I'm really tired. I'll talk some more. But she's finished. Which means the good stuff. Well, this is good. The great stuff is going to start tomorrow when I start Twilight. The time has come. The time has come to read the texts upon which my personality was built. I'm scared. I watched this movie religiously, so I remember like the major plot points of this book, but I just know it's gonna be so much more cringeworthy. Even though I know what's gonna happen, we're still gonna discuss it as if I didn't, because it's more fun to read everything with fresh eyes. But wish me luck, 'cause I'm scared. Oh, and we never even discussed the 9/11 to Twilight pipeline, which that pipeline extends beyond Twilight. So basically, and I hope I'm remembering this correctly because I'm just going to paraphrase this really long Reddit post that I've seen before, and there are many memes made about it. But essentially, The 9/11 to Twilight timeline extends past Twilight and goes into 50 Shades of Grey. We're not going to worry about that right now. But basically the lore is that 9/11 happened and that main guy from My Chemical Romance like witnessed it as he was taking a ferry, I want to say, like away from Manhattan. And it inspired a song that he wrote, which then inspired Stephenie Meyer to write Twilight. The song inspired Stephenie Meyer to write Twilight. And then the extension of that is that 50 Shades is technically, or essentially like, allegedly, a self-insert version of Twilight. But anyway, let's get into it. They're sitting in biology and he's looking at her like she smells. I forgot how mean Edward is. Like, not only does he look at her like she stinks, but like they have one nice conversation in biology, but his body language is still like nasty. And then he saves her from like the van crushing her or whatever, which in the book it's way more intense. There was like in the movie he's like, ugh, and saves her like that, but in the book it's like she's about to get crushed and then she's about to get crushed again and then her legs are about to get crushed, whatever. And he's so like stank about it. Like obviously he's hiding it, whatever. He's like, I was standing right next to you gaslighting her, right? But then they get to the hospital or whatever and he's like,
can't you just thank me and get over it?
Like, okay. And of course she's like literally obsessed with him, and for what? And she knows that it's dumb. She literally is like, this is so stupid. I'm excited to go to school for a boy, and that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Also, her mom sucks. It doesn't really expound on her mom's personality quite yet, but basically Bella kicked herself out of her house so that her mom could go travel with her minor league loser boyfriend. Yeah, no thanks. But I'm on chapter 4, 56 pages in, and I'm getting really tired, so I'll pick this up tomorrow. Good night. Sleep tight. Dream of Edward. Just like that's the last sentence of chapter 3. That was the first night I dreamt of Edward Cullen. May you all dream of Edward Cullen tonight. As I'm sure we all could have guessed, Bella is obsessed with Edward. Well, she's not obsessed, she has a crush, but she's like infatuated with him. And she even admits, she's like, I literally stare at him all the time. Like, she was talking to her friend, because when he like saves her from the van, everyone's like, oh yeah, we didn't even notice he was there. And she was like, oh yeah, nobody thinks about him as much as I do. And then he's being all like,
we shouldn't be friends, Bella. It would be better if we weren't friends.
So then she's like, of course, feeling like rejected. His thoughts about her affect her so much, and so then, like, mind you, they've been going back and forth. He's been basically ignoring her and like being rude and whatever, and then she denies three guys' invites to the spring choice, which is supposed to be the girls ask the guy, not even, whatever, everyone's obsessed with her, even though she has no interest in anybody or even like really being friends or part of the town. And then he's like, oh, I heard you were going to Seattle, like, let me take you there. It would be more, and then he says, it would be more prudent for you not to be my friend, but I'm tired of trying to stay away from you, Bella. If a guy who I thought hated me, and I was so embarrassed because it's like, obviously he doesn't want to be friends with me because he is not interested in me and he like totally knows I'm obsessed with him. If he said that to me, girl, it'd be over for me. Seatbelt locked. Seattle, here we come. Like, it's crazy because obviously the book puts you much more inside Bella's mind, and she is like, she's obsessed with him. Whatever. Number 1, cannot stop thinking about Edward. She thinks about him incessantly to the point where I'm starting to get annoyed. She's so dramatic. The drama is insane, and you wouldn't think that you could get so much drama from a singular girl's point of view. She complains every second about having to live there and how she doesn't like it, and all the boys are obsessed with her, and that's so annoying, blah blah blah. But she like makes no effort to have female friendships because she's just not like other girls. And like, even though she encourages all of the guys to like go be with these girls because she obviously doesn't want to be with them, like, they're still giving her sass. Like, okay, jealous wench, like, get over yourself. But it's also high school, so like, they can be a jealous wench one day and then the next day be your best friend. So why don't you go and actually be friends with these people instead of thinking like, all of them are moderately annoying, but I hang out with them because I have to sometimes. Maybe this is a Bella Swan hate club. Only time will tell. I was gonna wait until I was halfway to do another reading update, but they're both so annoying. They're both so annoying. He can say whatever he wants. He can literally say, I hate you. And she'll be like, number one, crying. She's like, awesome, my life's over. But then she'll still be obsessed with him. Like, so in the book, like, he saves her at Port Angeles from those guys literally trying to, like, attack her and probably do way worse. And so whatever, they're at dinner and he's like, he admits to stalking her and she's like, doesn't care. Then she's like, so you're a vampire, right? And he's like, yeah, basically. Gives her the whole spiel. She does not care. When she finds out that he can't read her mind, he's like, oh, I don't know why I can't do it. Like, maybe, like, he compares it to the radio. He's like, maybe everyone's on FM and you're just on AM. And she's like, you think I'm a freak? Like, that's what you gathered from that interaction? Like, obviously it's annoying in the movie, but I thought that was just, like, you know, the lack of emotional depth in that movie, because a lot of times, you know, there's more that they just can't or don't portray. But no, she's just that annoying. And it's also, like, she's obsessed with him to the point where she's, like, first of all, she says she's in love with him. Not even halfway in. Mind you, they've hung out maybe a handful of times, and half of those times is him telling her, like, I'm kind of into you, but not really. It's literally, he's giving the, like, oh, I really like you, but I can't be in a relationship right now, or, like, I just want to see how things go with other people, like, that kind of vibe. And she is, like, still down bad obsessed with him. I mean, imagine I wore it like this. And it's so annoying. And then he is, like, basically, like, I don't care, I'm gonna break all the rules, whatever. He just picked her up and drove her to school. Like, she's wearing his jacket, which, by the way, when you're in high school, is literally like, this guy wants to date me, he likes me so much, he picked me up in his car, he took me out to dinner, he is, like, all up in my business, I'm wearing his jacket in front of everybody, like, you're together. No, you're not. He still has not even said that he likes you. Like, you still think that he hates you every 6 seconds. Mind you, Bella's, like, depressed and anxious, so, like, part of that is just her own mental, you know, struggle that she's grinding through. But it's like, he can't even tell her that he likes her. Like, he can't even, there's not even a shred of commitment, and it's just like, please. Please. It's just them going back and forth of him being like, we can't do this, and her being like, I am obsessed with him. I can't. I don't know. It's literally, it's slowly becoming unbearable to me. I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, this is the book that, like, establishes their relationship so that the rest of the books can be, like, actual plot, but I don't know how long it's, oh my god, I'm gonna literally have to wait till the last third for there to be, like, the actual action portion. And that's gonna be in, like, 100 pages because this is literally 400 pages. Cringe is funnier to watch, and them being stupid and annoying is funnier to watch when you only have to watch it for, like, 30 minutes of an hour-and-a-half movie. I will persevere. But it's not gonna be easy. It says, when I thought of him, of his voice, his hypnotic eyes, the magnetic force of his personality, I wanted nothing more than to be with him right now. And, like, maybe that's supposed to be romantic, but that's so similar. Oh my god, I hope you guys can hear the thunder. But it's so similar to the way that you would describe, like, a predatory animal. And obviously, Bella is the prey, and, like, the whole thing about a lot of predators is that essentially their entire countenance, like, invites you into, like, a false sense of security so they can kill you. I would not be surprised by the way that she describes Edward and Bella's dynamic if, like, the twist a third of the way through the book was that he literally tries to kill her and, like, eat her. Bella seems so naive because it's like he's literally manufactured in a way, like, beautiful, charming, alluring, whatever it is, to, like, make you be enticed so that he can kill you. Does that make sense? But I don't know. And then the other random thing was that Bella never eats, and when she does eat, she's drinking Coca-Cola and, like, nothing else. So, but anyway, I'm suffering. Ladies and germs, after a well-deserved break from Bella's inner monologue, we're back. Unfortunately, there's still literally 300 pages left of this book. I guess maybe it's a little less. There's about 200 and some pages left. I will not let Stephanie Meyer and Isabella Swan break my spirit. And I will not allow this book to put me into a reading slump. We will defeat, I don't know, Bella? Okay, bye. I have decided that Bella Swan is clinically insane. First of all, her and Edward are going to Seattle. He literally has alluded multiple times to the fact that, like, he might kill her being alone with her. So much so to the point that he's going hunting the day before so that he doesn't have the urge. Then she's like, well, I hope it doesn't end bad, because, like, what's my other choice? Like, to not spend time with him anymore? Like, that's intolerable. She literally says intolerable. Besides, since I'd come to Forks, it really seemed like my life was about him. Are you clinically insane? Like, what is going on, girl? Stephanie Meyer, like, basically makes it seem like Bella's just, like, this really big empath, because, like, if their relationship ends badly, i.e. he kills her, or she goes missing, like, obviously it's a really bad look for their family. And she, like, Bella is like, I just, like, I know his words should frighten me, but honestly, I just, like, feel bad for him. What? Stephanie Meyer, how did you convince a culture to become infatuated and so deeply, like, intertwined with a relationship that is so toxic and based on a character who's literally insufferable? I don't get it. All she does all day is think about Edward. All she does when she can't be with Edward is be in a pissy mood because she's not with Edward. All she does when he says he's literally going to kill her is be like, ugh, but, like, if he kills me, then we can't hang out anymore. Like, Stephanie Meyer, you are getting a bill for my anger management classes, because what the H, girlfriend? I remember why we liked these books and why we like these movies now, and it's obviously because of Edward. I was, and unfortunately still am, a Team Edward girly. Once you get past the first 210 pages of Bella being, like, the most unlikable character in the history of the planet, then we get to see Edward's emotions for her. And if we're, like, disregarding the fact that he's obviously, like, literally 100 years old, which, this is fantasy, we are putting aside reality in its constrictions. We're, what is it called? Suspension of belief, or suspension of, I don't know, you guys know what I'm trying to say. Like, this is not real, so I'm not gonna care. Listen to what he says about her. For almost 90 years, I walked among my kind and yours, all the time thinking I was complete in myself, not realizing what I was seeking, and not finding anything because you weren't alive yet. So you're saying that your life didn't matter before you met me, you've been waiting your whole life to find me. Thank you, you've had 90 years to create the most swoon-worthy sentence I've ever read. Thank you. He said, you're resurrecting the human in me. I don't think I underlined anything else. But anyway, we like these books because we like Edward. And then because we like Edward, Bella's like, fine. Because at that point, once you become not enamored with Edward, but once you're kind of, like, taken by his charm and his, like, flirtatiousness or whatever, and the worst part about it is that it's not even cringy because, like, the way that Stephenie Meyer's built him up, it's like so earnest. So you're like, awesome, you mean it. And then at that point, it's like just a self-insert. You're like, cool, so I'm Bella now. Even though Bella is cripplingly insecure, so annoying, and like the worst character ever written. But yeah, so if you're wondering why we were all obsessed with these books, it's because of Edward. Sorry, I fell for the vampire dude who sparkles in the sunlight. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going, okay? I hate Bella, and that's the end of it. At the end of book 1, she's still not a vampire. Edward still doesn't want to change her. Jacob has finally kind of admitted in so many words that he likes her. The people who live on the res, like Billy, are like, girl, you better stop. And that's it. That's kind of it, actually. Oh, and Rosalie still hates her. I don't know. I don't know that I could say it's better as a movie than a book. And Kristen Stewart does a good portrayal of her now that I know how, like, terribly desperate Bella actually is. Regardless, it was fun to read this book. Like I said earlier, I both can and can't understand why everyone was obsessed with this. But, I don't know. Maybe I'll just have to read the rest of them in the series. So let me know if you guys want to see that. If you guys want to see more Twilight series reading blogs. It was just fun to kind of read these books from 2012. The Fault in Our Stars was just a whole other weird beast of its own. I think this is adult compared to The Fault in Our Stars being young adult. So that was just like, what were we on? I don't know. I guess we were really delusional back then. Because these characters are very, like, get up off the floor, you know? But, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a like and comment your thoughts on this book. And I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye!